The room smells of cedar oil and something older, something dry. Natron, perhaps, or linen that has been folded and unfolded 10,000 times until it holds the shape of the hands that touched it. There is a lamp, shallow, oil floating on a clay dish. The flame does not flicker because there is no wind here, this deep in the palace, this far from the river. A chair, a table, a small alabaster jar with a lid carved in the shape of a seated cat. And on the table, a pair of bronze instruments, fine as needles, laid beside each other with the care of something sacred. This is the physician's room, not the pharaoh's. Come, sit. He will be here soon. If you are new here, welcome. Edmund recalls these things so they are not lost. The great ones fill the temples, the quiet ones fill the hours between, and it is in those hours that the truth lives. If you wish to stay, press the small button below. It means the next memory will find its way to you when you need it most. Now, let us return to the lamp. My name is Userhat. I was not a general. I did not build anything that still stands. I carried no weapons into battle, though I followed the armies to their edges, to the place where the wounded lay down in the sand and waited to find out what kind of day they were having. I was a physician, Sunu in the old word, a healer of the body's small rebellions. I served in the household of Ramesses, the second of that name, for 31 years. He was a great man. History will tell you so, and for once, history is not wrong. He was tall. He was loud in the way that mountains are loud, not by making noise, but by simply being there in every direction you looked. He reigned for 67 years. He outlived most of the people who had known him young. I was not one of the people who knew him young. I came to his service when he was already in his 40s, already a monument to himself, already carved in stone in 6 different temples. But I knew his teeth, and teeth, I have found, are more honest than temples. He woke before the sun, not because he was disciplined, though he was, but because his back hurt in the hours just before dawn. The spine, by that point in his life, had begun to disagree with him. It had formed small islands of bone where bone was not meant to be, and those islands made themselves known in the cold hours. A servant would help him sit, then stand, then pace. By the time I arrived, he had usually been pacing for some time. My first task each morning was not the teeth. That came later. First, it was the hips, the back, the careful pressing of fingers along the spine to learn what the night had done to him. He did not complain. This I want you to understand. In 31 years, I never once heard him say that something hurt. He would tell me where to press. He would say, there, or lower, or your left, with the same tone he used to direct generals, as if the pain were a subordinate that needed positioning. After the back, the ointment. I had a preparation of acacia and animal fat, and something ground from a red mineral that came from the eastern desert. We rubbed it into the joints. It smelled of earth and old fires. He said it smelled like battle. I did not argue. Then came the teeth. He loved dates. I know this is not the detail you expect. You expect gold, conquest, the chariot, the bow, the enemy fleeing across the sand. That all existed. I am not disputing it. But in the mornings, in the physician's hour before the court assembled, he ate dates. A small wooden bowl of them, brought each day from the kitchen, always the same variety, soft, dark, from the groves near Heliopolis, where he said the soil was sweeter. He could tell, he claimed, the difference between dates grown on the east bank and the west bank of the river. I tested him once, without telling him. I had the kitchen send dates from both. He knew. He always knew. 40 years of dates had left their mark on his teeth. There was wear. There was at one point a cracked molar on the lower left that gave us both a difficult few weeks. I packed it with a paste of frankincense and honey and ochre and told him to eat the dates more slowly. He ate them exactly the same speed. But he looked at me afterward that first morning and said, "You are good at this. Don't tell anyone." I understood. A pharaoh does not need a physician. A pharaoh is beloved of the gods, who do not let their chosen ones suffer. This was the official position. In the mornings, before the court, the official position took a rest. On the table beside his bed, there was a small mirror, bronze, polished to the sheen of still water. The handle was carved ivory, a woman standing with her arms raised, holding up the disk of the mirror's face. He did not use it to look at himself, or rather, he did look at himself, but only at his teeth. Every morning after I had finished my work, he would pick up the mirror and hold it close to his face and look at his own teeth in the dim lamplight. He moved the mirror slowly, the way you move a lamp over a relief carving, looking for the depth of the shadows. I asked him once what he was looking for. He said, "I want to know what you see." I told him what I saw: a good left side, some wear on the upper right, the packed molar holding, the gum pulling back a little at the front. This was age, I explained, unavoidable, the body making its slow economies. He listened with his eyes still on the mirror. Then he said, "My father had no teeth left by the end. He ate porridge." He put the mirror down. He said nothing else, but I noticed after that he rinsed more carefully, that he was gentler with the hard foods, that the dates, which he could not give up, he ate now with a certain deliberateness, not slower exactly, but more present. He was paying attention in the way that powerful men sometimes do when they finally understand that something is finite. I came to him in the evenings too, sometimes, not always, when the day had been long or when there had been ceremony, standing, processioning, the weight of the double crown for hours at a stretch. The back would need attention again. These were different visits from the mornings. In the mornings, he was preparing. In the evenings, he was arriving back from somewhere far away. He would sit, not on the throne, not in the formal chair with its gilded legs and cushioned seat, on a plain wooden stool that he kept near the window, where the air from the river came through in the late hours. I would work on his back. He would look at the window. Sometimes he spoke, not about politics, not about campaigns or crops, or the business of ruling a country the size of a world. He spoke of small things, about a falcon he had kept as a young man that used to sit on his left arm and watch the sky with an expression of complete authority, about a bend in the river near Abydos where the water turned a particular color at dusk that he had never seen anywhere else, about his children. He had many children, too many to hold in one mind, but certain ones he returned to, certain faces he seemed to carry in his chest. He did not ask my opinion on these things. I was not there to give opinions. I was there to hold the space open. Once, late in his reign, when he was old enough that the evening sessions had become simply two men sitting in the dark together, he said to me, "Do you think the gods see us?" I was quiet for a moment. Then I said, "I think they see what we make of the hours they give us." He was quiet for a long time after that. Then he said, "Your ointment smells less terrible than it used to." "It is the same ointment," I told him. He did not answer, but the corner of his mouth moved just slightly in the direction of a smile. I packed up my instruments. I said good night. He was still sitting by the window when I left. Edmund would ask you this before he lets you sleep. Whose quiet life should he recall next? There are so many rooms history has locked, so many people who held the lamp while someone else was celebrated in the light. Tell him below, a name, a role, a century, even just a feeling, a period you've always wondered about, a corner of the world that calls to you. He reads them, he remembers. Userhat lived to an old age. He outlived his pharaoh 7 years, which surprised him. He had always assumed the gods would manage things in the other order. He retired to a small house near the river. He kept no instruments. He grew herbs in clay pots along the south wall, where the light was best. He still, at the end, checked his own teeth each morning, not because he feared losing them, but because it was something he had learned to pay attention to. And attention, he had found, is its own kind of medicine. The lamp goes out. The river moves in the dark.